This is Lesson 15. Flash CS5 offers designers a number of new, exciting features. These features promise to increase productivity as well as help bring your movies and designs to life. One such feature is the addition of the new Code Snippets panel in Flash CS5. The Code Snippets panel allows even the novice Flash designer to add ActionScript to their movies, for anything from basic timeline control to even more complex tasks such as dynamically loading images and sounds. However, for all of its capabilities, ActionScript has historically presented designers with somewhat of a steep learning curve. The purpose of the new Code Snippets panel is to help minimize or eliminate that learning curve by allowing Flash to actually write the code for you. All you need to do is just point and click. To get started, let's open up the fl_codesnippets.fla lesson file. And let's take a look at what we have. Here we have some pre-created animation as well as a stop button in the upper right-hand corner. If we preview our movie by holding down Control, Enter, or Command Return, we'll see that our movie's animation continues to loop. And there's nothing actually controlling the timeline right now, so we'd like to accomplish a couple of things. We'd like to stop this animation at the end, as well as have the ability to stop it at any point using the button in the upper right-hand corner. Let's go ahead and close this and return to our lesson file. To accomplish this, we definitely have to know some basic ActionScript. And if you're a designer just looking to bring your creation to life, you probably don't want to have to deal with that learning curve right now. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to let the Code Snippets panel do the thinking for us. First thing we want to accomplish is to be able to stop our movie at the end of the timeline where the animation ends. So what we're going to do is we're going to simply drag the playhead all the way to the end at frame 42. And now I know that I want Flash to actually add some ActionScript here to stop my movie at this point. So enter the Code Snippets panel, which you can actually find in your default workspace. You can also open the Code Snippets panel by choosing Window, Code Snippets. Now let's take a look at the Code Snippets panel here. We'll see there's a number of folders. Each one contains a number of different related snippets. Snippets are basically ActionScript presets, which you can apply at any point to any object, anytime, just by pointing and clicking. In this case, my goal is to stop the timeline. So what I'm going to do is actually expand the timeline navigation folder. And we'll see there's a snippet made just for us for this purpose called Stop at this frame. So instead of having to open up the Actions panel and write any ActionScript by hand, all we have to do is just double-click this snippet. And what you'll see is it actually opens the Actions panel for us and pastes in the appropriate code for this task. So we'll see here, in addition to some descriptive comments, it pastes in the exact ActionScript command that we need to stop the timeline at this point. If we go ahead and close the Actions panel, we'll see that it's actually created a new Actions layer for us and assigned the appropriate code at the appropriate point along the timeline. Let's go ahead and test our movie again and see what happens this time. Once again, we're going to choose Command, Return, or Control Enter, depending on your operating system. And mission accomplished. Our animation ends exactly at the end of the timeline without looping out of control, and all we had to do was just simply find the right code preset to do the job. But let's take this even a step further. What if I want to stop this animation beforehand by using this handy stop button in the upper right-hand corner? Let's go ahead and close the preview. Now we want this functionality to be available from the very beginning of our movie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the playhead back to frame 1 by clicking on the timeline ruler. And I'm going to go ahead and select the object that I want to apply code to. In this case, that's my stop button. If I click and select that, now I'm pretty much ready to apply a new code snippet to that to make it do exactly what I want it to do. So I'm going to go over to the right side of my workspace and re-expand the Code Snippets panel. And my timeline navigation folder should still be open. Just so happens this folder contains some more presets that I can use. In this case, what I'd like to do is when the stop button is clicked, I want it to actually advance or rewind the playhead back to the beginning of the movie and stop it there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click this action over here, or this code snippet here called click to go to frame and stop. And what you're going to see is it's going to prompt me and say the selected symbol requires an instance name. And this is true. Basically every symbol, whether it's a button or movie clip, that we want to apply ActionScript to needs some type of unique ID. Now, again, we don't need to worry about this because we're not taking an ActionScript class right now. We're only concerned with getting the job done and making this button work. So we're going to let Flash do the work for us by clicking OK. And what Flash will do is exactly that. It'll take care of all the specifics. It'll give a name to that button, and it'll also create the ActionScript necessary to do what I'm asking it to do. So if we take a look at our actions panel, we'll see it pasted some new code here and some descriptive text. And what this code's goal is to have the timeline go to and stop at a specific frame. Now, by default, it's saying go to and stop 5. Now, without knowing a lot of ActionScript or any ActionScript, I can pretty much assume that it's going to go to frame 5. And to further reinforce that, I've got some instructions here that tell me exactly what to do to fine-tune this code. So we'll say replace the number 5 in the code below with the frame number that you would like the playhead to move to when the symbol is clicked. So in this case, as we determined before, I'd like it to go either to the beginning or maybe we even want it to go to the end. It's up to us. But to keep it simple, what I'll do is I'll change the frame number in here from 5 to 1. This makes sure that when I click my stop button that it's going to jump the playhead to the beginning of the timeline and stop all animation in the movie. So once again, if we test publish our movie, we can leave the actions panel open or close it. It's up to you. Hold down Command Return or Control Enter. And if I click the stop button, you'll see it does exactly as promised. It advances the playhead to the beginning when the bird is out of view and the animation stops. So as we can see here, without knowing any ActionScript whatsoever, we're able to bring our movies to life and evolve them further using basic presets or code snippets. This is a tremendous advantage for designers who may be experiencing a pretty steep learning curve learning ActionScript, or who don't have the time to actually learn ActionScript further but need to get the project done.